Guys, Mr. Gasolina, Daniel Palencia could possibly return tomorrow for the Cubs' new series in Wrigley against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Daniel Palencia could return from IL, and this is such great news for this Cubs team who has been staying afloat, who is actually hot right now on a three-game win streak going into tomorrow's series. Here's what Patrick Mooney had to say on Twitter about Daniel Palencia's return. Patrick Mooney stated, Cubs closer Daniel Palencia has made enough progress that the team is considering activating him Friday for the start of a three-game series against the Diamondbacks at Wrigley Field. That is such awesome news to hear for the Cubs. Man, Daniel Palencia returning to the Cubs is huge. And the perfect example of that is literally just in the last series, the last game of that series against the Padres, where he had Corbin Martin, who came in and walked all of the batters and potentially put the Cubs in jeopardy of losing that game. Um, they called on unsung hero and Ben Brown, who's been playing actually very well this season so far. They called on to him to actually come and save, but that is not ideal for this Cubs team to have Ben Brown, who has been shaky in the past, to come in and save a game for them. They need Daniel Palencia. They need their closer to come in and actually produce and do what he does, and that is throw gas and shuts the door on teams. Here's a look at what Daniel Palencia has done for the Cubs so far. It hasn't been much. Only 5 games played with the win-loss record of 1-0, and then a 0 ERA. Only pitched 5 innings, but has 5 strikeouts to only 2 walks. That's very solid, and this is just what the Cubs need. The Cubs need production right off the bat from Daniel Palencia. Don't want to rush him back per se. Like, if he doesn't actually return tomorrow, I won't be hurt, and I don't think anyone else should be upset about it either. But it would be such an added bonus just because of how well Daniel Palencia does his job at closing when he is on this team healthy. Guys, if you're still here with me, make sure you share and subscribe. We are on the road to 1.3K. We need 55 more subscribers to get to that goal of 1.3K. And if you love what Just Another Year Chicago Cubs does, and if you are a big Cubs fan like me, myself, then make sure you share and subscribe and share with all of your friends and family. Guys, the pitching for this Cubs team actually has been solid, despite all the injuries that may have distracted us from what this pitching staff is actually doing and how Craig Counsell is actually managing this pitching staff. The Cubs rank eighth in the National League for pitching, and that is very surprising. Like, if you ask me, once I looked at that, I was super surprised just because of all the injuries. You would expect the Cubs not to be doing great at all with how much the injury bug has plagued this rotation, has plagued this bullpen. Let's take an in-depth look at how this how this starting rotation actually is producing. Here we go. We'll start off with Edward Cabrera, who has a very impressive 3-0 win-loss record. He has pitched 35.1 innings, has an ERA of 3.6. He's thrown 29 Ks and walked only 12 batters. Very solid for Edward Cabrera. I feel like all of his starts, he looks very good, but he does tend to walk in bad moments, I would say. But all in all, I am super impressed with what Edward Cabrera has done for this team and what he has brought to this team as well. I think this was a very good acquisition for the Cubs during the offseason. And then also as well, Matthew Boyd, who has a 1-1 win loss record with 18 innings pitched, a 7 ERA. Really, that 7 ERA came from just that bad outing he had in the Padres series. So I feel like over time, over his next few starts, that ERA will climb down. 26 strikeouts for Matt Boyd, though, and only walked 5, so pretty solid there. Like I said, that ERA for Matt Boyd, I feel like it will definitely go down. Shota M. Managa. Shota, who has a 2-2 record, pitched 34.1 innings so far, has an ERA of 3.1, struck out 38 and walked 9. Very solid for Shota after really what started at the crosstown series with the White Sox. His season began to plummet, and then also facing injury with the growing injury and everything. I feel like definitely Shota is producing very well for this team and playing pretty solid. And we look at Jameson Taillon, who has a 2-1 record with 34.2 innings pitched, has an ERA for 4.41, struck out 31, and walked 31. That was an error on my part, guys. I'm sorry about that. But Jameson Taillon, another person who had a very solid outing against the Padres. That was very, very, very good. Let's look at Colin Ray, who has a 3-1 record, has pitched 27.2 innings and ERA of 4.61, has 24 Ks and walked 9. Guys, solid. This Cubs team do not walk a lot of batters at all, which is very, very solid to see. This Cubs pitching is staying afloat despite all of the injuries that they have faced. They are staying afloat. Obviously, you do miss Cade Horton. You miss Cade Horton a lot. You miss Justin Steele, who we are hoping to get more news on soon and hoping that he will return to this Cubs team soon. But also as well, the Cubs pitching is staying afloat, like I said, and they're doing very solid. You can't look at all the injuries and just be like, this pitching is bad. If I was to tell you that this Cubs pitching is bad, I would be flat out lying to you guys. This Cubs pitching is very, very solid. And I want to give a shout out to an unsung hero who has been doing very well for the Cubs. And the Cubs need unsung heroes with all the injuries that they have been facing. And guys, Ben Brown has been playing absolutely phenomenal for the Cubs so far. Out of 10 games, he has a 1-1 win-loss record, has an ERA for 1.99. He has pitched 22.2 innings and has 22 strikeouts to only 7 walks. Guys, Ben Brown has been the unsung hero for the Cubs, and you can't ask for nothing more but that production from Ben Brown, who hasn't been producing that well, but very solid. I am super excited that Daniel Palencia is potentially returning to the Cubs tomorrow. This is such an added bonus for a team that's been playing very well, went 3-3 in their 6-game road trip on the West Coast and on a 3-game win streak now, going back at home, potentially getting Daniel Palencia, Ben Brown playing well. The rotation has been very solid all around as well. Thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate you guys so much. If you guys love Just Another Year, Chicago Cubs, and you love the Chicago Cubs yourself, make sure you like and subscribe. And always as well, make sure you fly the W and go Cubs go.